up, everybody? Shawn Tubbs here at Chicago Music Exchange. I'm here with Revv Amps, and we are checking out the newest D25 combo. Now, this is a 25 watt 6v6 powered combo. It's based on a previous amp called the D20. The D20 was a 20 watt combo. This one's got a little bit more headroom at about 5 watts more, but you'll hear it's a pretty massive sounding amp. It comes loaded with a Celestion V30 that comes standard. As I mentioned, 6v6 power section. This is an all tube amplifier, so 12 AX7s in the pre. Let's get right into the features on this amp. Pretty straight ahead tone stack. So you've got gain, treble, middle, bass, volume, and reverb. Now, reverb is another thing that we added just as customers were asking. We answered, they all wanted reverb, so we put it on the amp. It is a digital reverb, but it sounds great. It's got like a kind of a spring, really natural tone to it. We will check that out for sure. You have a gain boost. We'll get into how that sounds, the switch on the front. Right next to that is a pre-post switch. I'll circle back around to that. Right next to that is a switch that allows you to go from 25 watts down to basically speaking or bedroom levels, which would be 5 watts, which is really cool. This switch here is the speaker load switch. And since I'm on the subject, all Revv amplifiers come with Two Notes-embedded DynIR software with reactive load. Now, we're not going to go into that for this demo, but that's why this switch is here, is it allows you to bypass the speaker to the reactive load so that you can record via XLR out the back straight to your DAW or straight to front of house, whatever you'd like to do. Now, you can run it with the speaker or without the speaker, so simultaneously or one or the other. Works really great. This here is for your level control to the XLR, but it's also your headphone out, so that works great too. If you just want to play silently and work on some things, you can go ahead and hit the speaker load, do your headphone out. And then right next to that is your virtual cabinet selector. Basically, the amp comes loaded with 6 different DynIRs, ranging from 1x12 all the way to a 4x12. You can use those and just bang through them, or you can load your own third-party IRs. It's entirely up to you, so you can show up on stage and just, you know, bang through a bunch of different cabs without having to get out editing software and things like that. So that's how all of that is working. As I mentioned, we're not going to get into that for this particular demo, but that's what's there. And I'll circling back around, the pre-post switch allows you to turn off the power section of the amp if you so choose, so that you can use the modeled power sections within the Two Notes software. So yeah, let's get right into some sounds, and I'll just kind of dial it and let you know what I'm doing. Okay, so the way it's dialed right now, it's nice and clean, quite a bit of headroom, especially for a 25 watt amplifier. Let's just add a little bit of top end. I'm not going to, fully just go through all the knobs and turn them all the way left and right, but I'll just show you kind of what I would do. Like, this is a nice start. If you want a little more top end, check it out. So if you had like a Les Paul or something like that with bigger sounding pickups, you can easily dial more top end. Or if you have a brighter guitar, you can go ahead and roll the top end down. It'll be nice and warm. I like it about right here for like a Strat style guitar. Now the mids, if you bump the mids, The mids aren't super honky, but they do bring in some gain, and they, you know, it once again depends on what you're doing. If you want the amp to push a little bit harder, push the mids more. I like the mids at about noon. When you turn it all the way up like that, it gives it a little bit more mid punch and gives you a little bit more gain. Now on the low end of this amp, it gets really spread out and big, but the nice thing about it is it never kind of gets out of control or loose. So check it out. So even with the bass all the way up, it still stays really in control. It still sounds nice and full without getting, you know, woolly in the low end. And then volume-wise, we can definitely get hotter if we turn up the main volume, or I should say the master volume. What we're doing is we're getting more volume, but we're also driving the power section a little bit more, so you can get some really nice breakup. Via more kind of power tube breakup. We can turn that down. If we dime the gain on the other side, that's about as much as it's going to break up. But if you do want to add gain, we can use this gain boost that I mentioned before. And the other thing I want you to keep in mind is this is foot switchable, but we can employ the gain boost now, and it's not going to just add gain, it's also going to make the amp sound a bit more spread out. So check it out. So yeah, with that being foot switchable, you could literally go between like a rhythm tone and then your solo or boosted tone, and it sounds really cool. Last but not least, let's listen to this this reverb. And I've got one other thing I'm going to touch on, so I didn't mean to say last but not least. So least but not, never mind. We'll check out the reverb. The reverb, I've had it on the whole time. Let's go ahead and shut it off. And you know, I'll do that crunch tone I was doing. I'll go ahead and turn the reverb up just a little bit. So you can hear that it's more of like a spring style verb. Turn it up just a little bit more. And I'll go ahead and turn it all the way up. So as you can hear all the way up, you start getting those kind of spring reflections, and it really starts being more pronounced. I mean, I like it about there. So that is the Revv Amps D25. I really appreciate you guys checking it out, and we will see you next time.